Hello, back at it again, classmates. All right, so I know, if you don't know me, my classmates know I'm a little goofy and silly, so welcome to the party. So we're just in a little study corner. Basically what happens is I'm just going to go over my flashcards and share what I have. You know, we read, we do our flashcards, but sometimes that's just not enough. So, and we need somebody to explain it. So that's what I'm going to do, at least from my viewpoint. I could be totally off, but I mean, the PowerPoints on our test coming up don't lie, you know what I mean? So that's what these are. We're going to study them. And this one's going to be short, simple, easy. We're basically going to go over the names of the different tumors, benign and malignant, that we need to know, and what the difference is between benign and malignant as far as the characteristics. So the first one we're going to go over is the comparison of benign and malignant tumors. Okay, there is a chart that we have to know, and there's 5 different categories. So with categories, I always have to come up with a little saying. So for this one, it's kind of silly, but when you hear silly things, you kind of remember it. You're like, how can I forget that, right? So this one, different girls might find elephant money, right? Big money. Different girls might find that big money. So different girls might find elephant money. Elephant money, big money. Different girls might find elephant money. Okay, they just might. They might find that big money. Different girls might find the elephant money. But what that stands for is differentiated growth, mitotic figures, encapsulated, and metastasis. Okay, and you'll see what I mean once we go through these definitions. So different girls might find elephant money, right? So you're going to just kind of figure out your way through that saying, different girls might find elephant money. Okay, this is actually really cool. So different, differentiated. Okay, so we'll start there. So benign is usually well differentiated. Malignant is well differentiated to anaplastic. Now we remember what anaplastic was, right? It's like poop hitting the fan, you know, anaplastic. So anaplastic is a characteristic of malignant tumors. Remember that. So it would be under the malignant category. So basically it loses its differentiation and its orientation. So it's no longer just one cell. Those cancer cells invade the differentiated special cells that are just wanting to be epithelial cells. They just want to be different. They just want to be their own thing. Differentiated. They're not like any other. But those cancer cells invade that space and mess them all up. And then their orientation kind of goes berserk because now they're all, messed up. Those cancer cells just do that. So benign, they're usually well differentiated. Malignant, well differentiated to anaplastic, that crazy mess going on in there, okay? So different girls might find elephant money, right? Different girls might find elephant money. So differentiated. Benign, well differentiated usually. Malignant can be well differentiated to anaplastic, that crazy mess, okay? So the next one, girls, growth, different girls, differentiated, and then growth. Girl stands for growth, okay? So we want to know the growth of these. So benign, usually slow growth, right? Benign takes a while. Benign, it's behind. It's taking its time, okay? Whatever rhyme you want to say to make it stay in your brain. Ooh, you like that? Ooh, yes, girl. Okay, so benign, usually slow growth. It's so far behind. It's so slow. Malignant, you kind of never know what's going to happen with malignant. Like we already said, it could be well differentiated or it can be anaplastic, a crazy mess. It could be slow, but it can also be rapid. We just never know what's going to happen with malignant tumors. You never know. You cannot predict what's going to happen when it metastasizes, okay? That's what it is. You never know. You could try to stop it, which hopefully it really truly does stop, and we could fix all cancer. But for study purposes, different girls might find elephant money, ma'am. Okay, so different, differentiated, benign, usually well differentiated. Malignant, well differentiated to anaplastic. We just don't know. We can't predict it. Okay, benign, usually slow growth. Malignant, slow to rapid growth. We just don't know. It can be anything. All right, so different girls might find. Might find is together. It stands for mitotic figures, okay? Remember mitosis, where the cells split? So this is what we want to know. They're kind of splitting patterns kind of stuff. So benign. Mitotic figures are rare. They're usually slow growth, right? So we're not going to see them split and grow super fast, right? They're behind. They're slow. They're taking their time. Just find the rhyme that stays in your brain. Okay. So benign, slow, usually do not have mitotic figures like that. You know, they're not going to split and grow rapid and stuff like that. So now we're thinking about malignant now. Do you think they're going to split and get crazy? Yeah, they are. So malignant, mitotic figures may be numerous. Maybe. We just don't know, right? So they're probably going to split. They're probably going to go rapid, crazy everywhere. They can be nice and differentiated, but they're probably going to be anaplastic. We just don't know. You know, they could be crazy. It's a mess. Messy, messy, messy cells. Okay, malignant. Ew. So benign. So different girls might find encapsulated. Well, elephants, but it stands for encapsulated. So different girls might find elephant. Elephant's kind of a big word I used because encapsulated kind of is. If you want to consider that a big word, you know. It's over 3 letters, so big word, you know, whatever. Okay, so benign, encapsulated. Are they encapsulated or are they not? Well, we know benign doesn't really go anywhere, right? It's just a tumor. It doesn't spread anywhere. It's just there. It's not life-threatening. So let's think about this. Benign. It's usually encapsulated. It's usually in its little shell with dense, fibrous connective tissue around it, right? Or was that something else? I don't know. But really, encapsulated, no. Fibrous tissue, dense fibrous tissue encapsulates it. It is not going anywhere. It is encapsulated. Now, let's think malignant. We don't know what's going to happen. Is this stuff encapsulated? Is it contained? Is it not going to spread? No. So, malignant is invasive and non-encapsulated. It is not capsulated, non-encapsulated. But it's not. It's going to go wherever it wants. It's going to do its own thing. It's going to be fast, going to be slow, going to spread crazy. Might not, but it might. So, different girls might find elephant money. Different, differentiated, growth, mitotic figures, encapsulated. Okay. The last one, money. I shouldn't be saying it like this because it stands for metastasis. We don't like that. So let's think about it. We know metastasizes, you know, going from place to place. It spreads from primary tumor to another, right? So benign, do we think that's going to metastasize? No, it doesn't. It's not life-threatening. It just stays right there. It's a cute little tumor. Not that they're cute, but we'll just imagine it is. It's just a cute little encapsulated little tumor. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to go anywhere. We want to get it out of the way, though, because it's just taking up space that it shouldn't be there. But it's not going to metastasize. And then malignant, metastasize is likely. So whenever it's malignant, it's probably going to spread to somewhere else. So the difference between benign and malignant, this is all the categories we need to know. Different girls might find elephant money. Go find that big money, girl. Go find it. Different girls might find encapsulated money. Differentiated, benign, well differentiated usually. It is there. It is usually just one type of cell. It is there, okay? Malignant can be well differentiated to anaplastic. It could be crazy, right? Growth, slow growth on benign. It's behind, you know, taking its time. Find the rhyme that stays in your brain, okay? Benign, taking its time is probably slow. Malignant, we just never know what's going to happen. So it could be slow, it could be rapid. Rapid growth. Mitotic figures. Is it going to split? Is it going to reproduce? Is it going to just make more of itself? Benign, do you think so? No, usually not. It's slow, it's rare. And then malignant, yeah, it's probably going to be fast. Split, numerous, just keep growing rapid. Encapsulated, benign, cute little encapsulated tumor. It's not going anywhere. It's there. It's in its fibrous little dense connective tissue, encapsulated. And then malignant. That's gone. Is it encapsulated? No, it's invasive and non-encapsulated. And then metastasis. No metastasis for benign because it's not life-threatening, but malignant, yeah. So that was your 5 categories. If you can get through that, you know, just remember, different girls might find that elephant money, okay? Different girls might find elephant money. It's the weird things, right, that we remember. Okay, so names of tumors. Let's go through some more. There's not too many of these, but these are going to be on the test, so it's important to remember. Names of tumor in the epithelium. Okay, so we're going to go through the origin, where it comes from, the benign version, and the malignant version, okay? And what's really cool about the names of tumors is usually, the beginning, the prefix is typically the origin, where it starts, and then the back end suffix. It's been a while since I've been in English, I'll be honest, but the suffix is going to be like oma. It's going to tell you if it's carcinoma, sarcoma, oma, tumor versus malignant, non-tumor. So we know, okay, let's go back. Let's rewind. Malignant, there's 2 kinds, right? So it's either going to be a carcinoma or a sarcoma. What was a carcinoma? It was a malignant tumor of the epithelium, right? And then we have our sarcoma, which is the malignant tumor of the connective tissue, okay? That's really the 2 different malignant tumors that we need to know. Okay, there are some exceptions to the rules, but we will get there, okay? We will get there, and we'll remember it, okay? So, names of the tumors for the epithelium. We have 3 categories for the epithelium. Think epi. 3 letters in epi. 1, 2, 3. 3 categories. Epi, 3, okay? Epi, 3. Okay. So, let's start with one that we will be familiar with. So, the squamous cells, okay? Epithelium, we know squamous cells, epithelium, right? So, let's jump to the malignant first, right? So, we know squamous cell carcinoma. That is squamous cell carcinoma. That is squamous cell carcinoma. That is the epithelium cancer, malignant, okay? When you see carcinoma, you know it's epithelium cancer, malignant, okay? So, origin is the squamous cell. Jump to malignant. I usually start with benign, but we know very well the squamous cell carcinoma, okay? So, reverse. Squamous cells benign is a papilloma. Papilloma. Do you remember the epithelium, how the connective tissue has like those little papillaries in it? Like when it connects to the dermis, the epidermis, the dermis, all that stuff, it has those little papillaries. I like to think of that. So when I'm thinking of the squamous cells, we know we're made of squamous cells, especially in the oral cavity. So those squamous cells, I think of those papillaries connecting to the dermis and stuff like that. I don't know why, I just do. So when you hear squamous cells, think of that papillary that connects the dermis and the epidermis. You know, the epidermis is up top, dermis is down below, right? The dermis has all the vessels in it that gets all the blood and all that good stuff in there. It's all the nutrients, supplies the surface of the skin. Remember all that from anatomy? Yeah, squamous cell. Squamous cell, squamous sutures kind of like that too, right? Anyways, last semester we've probably already just put that to the back of our brains, until boards at least. But no, seriously, squamous cells is papilloma. We know oma is the tumor. Tumors non-malignant, okay? Those are benign. So benign tumor, benign, okay? Not malignant, benign. So oma, tumor, okay? So, squamous cells, papilloma, papillary, oma, papillary, okay, papillary and oma, papilloma. That's benign for squamous cells. And then your malignant is your squamous cell carcinoma. There's always going to be that carcinoma or that sarcoma in it for these, okay? So our next origin is our basal cells. We know our basal cells. We've heard of it, basal cells. This one's fun. Basal cells actually does not have a benign tumor. It doesn't. It's automatically basal cell carcinoma. There's that word again, carcinoma. So you know it's malignant. Basal cell carcinoma. Oh, stop, papillary, get down. Okay, so basal cells, malignant basal cell carcinoma. Okay, so basal cells, basal cell carcinoma. Okay, and then they are including the glands or ducts for your third category. So we have the glands or ducts. This is fun. I wish I could just have all of that anatomy education just flowing out of my mouth right now, because you know the root words are in there. So with glands or ducts, ADEN, right? ADEN. Okay. Oh, like adrenal gland or something like that. Like adrenal gland, if you think of a gland, adrenal, it's adenoma, but I don't know. When you see glands or ducts, think adrenal gland. I don't know. That'll ding, ding, ding. Gland. Oh, it's from a gland or duct. Adrenal gland. We've heard of that. We know that, right? Adrenal gland. So that's adenoma. 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 I may be pronouncing it wrong, but that's benign, right? Because it doesn't have carcinoma and it doesn't have sarcoma in it. So the glands or ducts is adenoma. Okay, and then when we get to the malignant side, it's going to have that, it's epithelium, right? It's the epithelium. These are the categories of epithelium. So what do you think that word is going to be that's in it? Carcinoma, right? So glands or ducts, we have adrenal gland, but no R. So adenoma, and then we have adenocarcinoma. Put them together. Adenocarcinoma, ADENO, carcinoma, CARINOMA, okay? So we have our three categories. We have our squamous cells, basal cells, and the glands or ducts, okay? Squamous cell, let's rewind. What was that squamous cell? That papillary, right, from the dermis and epidermis, right? Okay, so we have the papilloma is benign, and then we have our carcinoma word, so squamous cell carcinoma. We have our basal cells. Basal cells, basically just cancer. So I know that's terrible. I don't like this subject. I don't like cancer at all. Nobody does, but here we are. So basal cells, malignant basal cell carcinoma. My papillary hand just won't stop. Stop it. Okay. So then we have the glands or ducts. What kind of gland did we talk about? Adrenal gland? Adenoma. Adenoma. Take the R out. Adenoma. ADENOMA. Benign. Malignant. Adenocarcinoma. It is epithelium. So epithelium, what cancer, what malignant cancer affects the epithelium? Carcinoma. Adenocarcinoma. Okay. So glands, what was glands again? Adrenal, adeno. Okay. Just take out the R. Yeah, just take out the R. Okay, that's our three categories. Boom. So we got the epithelial categories down. Three categories: squamous cell, basal cell, glands, and ducts. Okay. See, this is good. This is good. This one's fun. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Names of tumors for neuroectoderm. Okay, well, we know neuro, right? Neuro, I think a brain. Ectoderm. That could throw a wrench in our plan with these neuro. Okay, so. Oh, okay. So neuroectoderm. Ectoderm, outside skin, like dermis, okay? Ectoderm, I'm thinking outer skin maybe, right? So what kind of cancer can we get on our outer skin? We know this. This is actually going to be an exception to the rule with the carcinoma and sarcoma. And it is kind of weird because it is an exception in its name all in all. We have neuroectoderm. When we think neuro, it's our brain. And this actually has nothing to do with our brain, right? So neuroectoderm. So neuroectoderm, okay? The origin of the neuroectoderm. not this, but outside skin, is melanocytes. Melanocytes, okay? The origin is melanocytes, okay? So this cancer affects the melanocytes, okay? Neuroectoderm. So it's an exception. Neuroectoderm has nothing to do with the neurons or anything. Neuroectoderm. Origin is melanocytes, okay? Ectoderm, melanocytes. We have beautiful melanin. We all do. It's there. Melanocytes. So when we hear ectoderm, even though it's neuroectoderm, we have our melanin, okay? Everyone, we have our melanin. Okay. And our melanocytes has a benign version and a malignant version, okay? And this is the only one that falls under the neuroectoderm category, okay? Melanocytes, ectoderm, right? Neuroectoderm. The thing that helps us, the neuro part, is the benign name. So the benign name is Nevus, or Nevus, Nevus. So neuro, 5 letters, Nevus, 5 letters, right? So melanocytes, that neuro, that's an exception. It's like that has no correlation to each other in my brain comprehension. But neuro and Nevis does. They kind of 5 letters, 5 letters. So neuroectoderm, ectoderm, melanocytes. Neuro, benign, Nevis, okay? And malignant, this is the exception that doesn't have carcinoma or sarcoma in it. And we've all heard it, melanoma. So melanoma is the malignant version of this kind of tumor. Okay, so neuroectoderm. Neuroectoderm. So this is an exception because none of it makes sense in the name, right? This is the exception. It's not going to have carcinoma or sarcoma. It's an exception. So neuroectoderm, ectoderm, outside skin, outer skin, melanin, melanocytes. That's the origin. It's benign version. Neuro, Nevis. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. We can kind of put those two together. And then it's an exception. So we have melanoma for the malignant tumor. No carcinoma, no sarcoma, melanoma. Okay, that's the neuroectoderm version. Whoop, whoop, we're done with that. Okay, 3 more cards. Few more categories. Okay, so this is the connective tissue. Yes, we know when we're talking about tumors in the connective tissue, whenever it's malignant, it is going to be a sarcoma, right? Connective tissue is a sarcoma. We know this. Malignant tumor of the connective tissue is a sarcoma. It is not carcinoma because connective tissue, carcinoma, both have C's. Those C's don't match up. Don't match those C's up. Carcinoma is epithelium. Sarcoma is connective tissue. So when we are going through the category of connective tissue, we know we are dealing with sarcoma for malignant sides, okay? And we're right. All of these are going to have sarcoma in their name for the malignant side, okay? So when we think of connective tissue, there are 4 specific categories in this tissue. 4 origins, I should say. So for connective tissue, we have fibrous, we have cartilage, we have bone, and we have fat, okay? So this will be cool. So for connective tissue, we know we have fibrous connective tissue. That's actually what encapsulates our tumors and stuff, is dense fibrous connective tissue, right? In that encapsulated area, dense fibrous connective tissue. We have fibrous connective tissue. So this is going to be really easy-ish, okay? So for regular tumors, if they're benign, we know they end in oma, right? Oma. And for malignant connective tissue is sarcoma. So this one's actually really easy when you get the base word of them. So fibrous connective tissue, the origin is fibrous. The benign version is fibroma. Pretty easy, right? Fibrous tissue, fibroma, tumor of the fibrous connective tissue. Malignant is fibrosarcoma. So we have fibroma and fibrosarcoma. Okay, sarcoma is the malignant cancer of the connective tissue. Okay. malignant tumor. All right, so fibrous, fibroma, fibrosarcoma, okay? Then we have the cartilage. I wish there was a cool way to make up this core word, root word, into something. I cannot remember anatomy as far as what that root word really means. But for the cartilage, it starts with a C. So there's that. But it's chondroma. 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 Cartilage, chondroma. Or, yeah, because that H has to be silent. It's not chondroma. Chondroma. But there's an H in there. So your malignant, we know it's got to have a sarcoma in there. It's connective tissue, okay? So we have chondrosarcoma. So we have if you can remember that root word, chondroma, chondrosarcoma, you'll be in good shape. Cartilage, C. We're matching C's. I don't want to confuse you guys, but we're matching C's right now. Cartilage, chondroma. 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 And then malignant, chondrosarcoma. Okay. The rest of them are easy. Bone, osteoma. Osteoma. Oma, tumor. Osteocytes, we know, is the beginning of the bone. Those little sites, those little cells in our bone. So osteoma, and then malignant, osteosarcoma. We know it has to have the sarcoma. It has to have the sarcoma. So osteoma, benign. Osteosarcoma, malignant. Okay, bone. Look at his little hair. We're just going to pretend it's not there, okay? So fat. Lipid. Fat. Okay, fat. Lipoma. Okay. Liposarcoma. Okay, so fat, lipid tissue. It's lipid, right? Lipid tissue, lipid. Liposuction, lipids. Okay, so fat. Lipoma. Lipoma. And then we need the sarcoma, don't we? So liposarcoma. Okay, malignant. Okay, so run through one quick time. We have connective tissue. Connective tissue, sarcoma. That should be a red flag. Alert, alert, sarcoma, connective tissue. So we have fibrous, fibroma, fibrosarcoma. We have our cartilage, chondroma, chondrosarcoma. Bone, osteoma, osteosarcoma. Fat, lipoma, liposarcoma. I know that's a lot, but if you just practice and go over it and over it, you'll get it. It's actually really easy. If you can look at the words and see it and say it out loud. Say it right now. Hopefully you're watching this like by yourself, so you could just study and say it out loud. Talk. It's weird, you know, but you're learning. I'm learning. We're all learning, okay? This one's cool. All right, so epithelium we know is up top, right? Epi, it's on the top. So this, we're going to go down below. We're going endothelium. So underneath I think it's under the connective tissue. I don't know, but I know it's endo, so it's down in there, okay? So epithelium is going to deal with what malignant tumor? What malignant tumor? Yeah, okay. So obviously you can't respond. But anyways, so epithelium is going to be your carcinoma, okay? Anything under that is going to be sarcoma, connective tissue sarcoma. So we're going to go with that trend. Endothelium, it's down in there. We're going to stick with the sarcoma, okay? I'm just trying to give you a little hint because these words do have the sarcoma in it. Okay, so endothelium. These are going to be your vessels. We have two types of vessels. We have our blood vessels and our lymphatic vessels. Boom, we know this. That's the two organs we're going to deal with. Endothelium is inside. What supplies our tissues is the blood vessels and the lymphatics vessels. So, I see a trend here when I'm looking at this. So, angio looks like a root word. It's not in the beginning though, so I'm guessing angio means vessels. A-N-G-I-O, angio. Okay, angio is in all this, so I would make the correlation that angio has to do with vessels. We have two types. We have blood vessels and we have lymphatic vessels. So blood vessels, blood, okay, blood. hematoma. I don't know what else to really, I can't think, but I know there's something about that stuff. But hematoma, I know we all know what that is. So blood vessels, think of, the answer is not hematoma, but what it is hemangioma. So HEM is what I wanted you to get out of that, blood vessels, HEM. Because you think blood, hematomas, you know, blood and stuff. So blood vessels. So we're going to combine those two words, and it's benign, so it's just oma. So it's going to be hemangioma, okay? HEM for blood, angi, ANGIOMA, angi, hemangioma, okay? Blood vessel tumor, okay? And then when we go to the malignant side, it's like it lost all its blood. There's no root word for blood anymore. So we have blood vessels benign is hemangioma, malignant angiosarcoma. Okay, angiosarcoma is malignant for the blood vessels. So when you see that angio and you know it's a vessel, you're going to be like angiosarcoma. Well, that's blood, because I'll tell you why. The lymphatic vessels, very easy to distinguish. Lymphatic vessels is lymph. Yeah, awesome. We know lymph and lymphatic. I mean, yeah, lymph. It's lymph. That's the fluid. So lymph angioma. So lymph vessel, lymphatic vessel tumor, lymphangioma. And then your malignant is lymphangioma sarcoma. Okay, I know that's a lot to say, but it makes sense. So lymphatic vessels, we have lymph is our root word, angio is your vessel. So lymph vessel, and then you know, the suffix. So you have oma for your benign or sarcoma for your malignant. And this is endothelium, so it's down in there, so it makes sense that it wouldn't be the same as epithelium, which is way above the connective tissue. You know, this is down in there. So we're going to stick on that sarcoma trend, okay? Endothelium, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels. Blood vessels, think HEM for blood and angio for vessel, hemangioma, and then malignant angiosarcoma. Okay, oopsies. And then lymphatic vessels, we have lymphangioma and then lymphangiosarcoma, malignant. Okay, easy. That was easy. Okay, we've got one more card to get through. Okay. Name these tumors, the origin, benign, and malignant, okay? These are the last ones we need to know for this test. So this one is going to be of the muscles, tumors of the muscles, benign and malignant. You okay? What's wrong? My little doggy is talking to me. Okay, so you okay? Are you hungry? I think he's hungry. Okay, so 2 muscles, okay, that we need to know. This is cool. I like muscles. We all like muscles, right? I got little muscles in there. So muscles, we have our smooth muscle and our striated muscle, okay? Oh gosh, I'm going to make a really bad correlation here in a minute. Please forgive me, okay? Smooth muscle. This isn't the bad one. So we're going to stick to sarcoma, okay? We're going to stick to sarcoma. I guess really it's down, up, under, all that good stuff. It's down there. It's not our epithelium, so it's not going to be our carcinoma. We're going to stick to the stuff down in there. So we're going to keep sarcoma. Okay, so muscle, smooth muscle. Okay, think lay on my smooth muscle. 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 Okay, so it's leiomyoma. Okay, so LEIOMYOMA. Lay on my smooth muscle. Smooth muscle, lay on my smooth muscle. Leiomyoma. Okay, LEIOMYOMA. Malignant. Malignant is leiomyosarcoma. Okay, we need that sarcoma. We need one of them words in there. Sarcoma or carcinoma. Carcinoma is epithelium. We ain't dealing with the epithelium. We're dealing with down under, you know, so smooth muscle. smooth muscle, sorry, leiomyoma, and leiomyosarcoma, okay? Striated muscle. This is the one, just because when I look at these words, my brain says like rehab, the way that this looks, and then striated kind of like reminds me of like, you know, somebody that needs to go to rehab. So golly, this heater. So striated muscle, okay? Striated muscle, you know, striated, and then it's rhabdomyoma. So the way that it's spelled is RHABDOMYOMA. So rhabdomyoma, but it looks like rehab. So striated, think like, I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but striated muscle, striated muscle, go to rehab. No E, there's no E. RHABDOMYOMA, rhabdomyoma. And then rhabdomyosarcoma, we need that sarcoma in there. So striated, rhabdomyoma, rhabdomyosarcoma. Okay, striated. I don't know if that helps, but when you see that and you see the other one, you'll be able to differentiate the two. Yep, so smooth muscle, leiomai. Striated muscle, rehab. Okay, well, that was all we needed to know for our test for these. So that was really great. I feel good about that. I hope you do too. I hope you're able to follow along and at least learn one thing. But yeah, thank you. I'm sending it to you guys now in a link. Bye.